Welcome to this week's edition of Mountain Outhouse. I'm your host, Jam. This is the craziest shit to happen in running this week. Welcome. This week's stories include September 100-mile race crazy time, Grand Slam of Ultra Running results, and a tribute to ultra runner Dan Baglione. It was a busy weekend of races again, and the packed September Ultra calendar doesn't look like it will let up anytime soon. We'd be remiss if we didn't do at least some recap here. So here we go. The Grand Slam of Ultra Running wrapped up this weekend at the historic Wasatch Front 100-mile. The 2017 version of the classic bacon, eggs, and pancakes of summer hundreds saw 11 finishers, all dudes. As we reported earlier, with the Leadville 100 officially withdrawing their auto in for Slammer hopefuls, that opened up the door for the re-edition of the Old Dominion 100 as a qualifying race. Only one runner, Hector Reyes, relied on that in lieu of Leadville, which he DNF'd. Two of those guys, Chris Jones and Andrew Ewing of California, two-upped the rest of the class by also going on to finish both Old Dominion and Angeles Crest 100s to complete what is called the Last Great Race Series, which, by the way, saw no finishers last year. In fact, they are only numbers 40 and 41 to ever complete the challenge of running the original 6 100-mile trail races in the United States in a single packed summer. So capping off these two slams is the Wasatch 100 near Salt Lake City. I unfortunately did not make it out there this year to partake in any pacing duties, but the race started 314 runners, with 201 finishing, despite that fact. Trevor killed it again as a repeat winner, taking the title in 20 hours 59 minutes, over an hour ahead of second place. Just 5 men went sub-24 on this tough course. Switzerland's Lucia Buehler was the ladies' champ in 25 hours 8 minutes. We love this story about the final finisher at this year's Wasatch 100. Tim Semenoff, who actually won the 1996 edition of the race, was diagnosed with a health condition, preventing him from raising his heart rate too high during exercise. He has continued running ultras, including the Bear and Wasatch 100s, mostly each year, but has had to settle into mid to the back of the pack to keep his health in check. Way to go, Tim. Whereas Wasatch used to be one of the more competitive summer September 100s, it seems we have to head over to Colorado to the Run Rabbit Run 100, which with its $65,000 in prize money measured via the starting and finishing in Steamboat Springs, the Run Rabbit actually divides its field in two, one for the competitive hares and one for the recreational tortoises. There are 2 prize purses, and you are only eligible for the money in your division. A win in the hares will net you $12,500, while a win amongst the tortoises will reward you with $250. A total of also 314 runners between the two fields started the race, and taking home the top prize for the men's hares was Jim Rebnick, squeaking ahead of Mark Hammond to win in 1844. Pima Pirate Charlie Ware was not too far behind, in third, finishing in 1935. After suffering a fall 11 miles from the finish line, tough as nails Courtney DeWalter stumbled and clawed her way to a 6th place overall finish and women's win for the 2nd year in a row, 20 hours, 38 minutes. What a freaking badass! Emma Roca of Spain was 2nd, a couple hours back, followed by Becky Kirschman, 3rd. Courtney later reported she got the all clear from docs afterwards, and she'll suffer no long-term effects from the injury. The Ultra Trail World Tour made its next stop on its Round the World series of iconic trail races, with the Ultra Trail Hurricana in Canada. They've got a point-to-point 125-kilometer race with over 13,000 feet of climb, with, get this, a 2 a.m. start time. Freaking brutal. The races saw new course records for both the men and women's fields, as American Sarah Kies won in 14:31 and local Canadian Vivian Laporte took the dudes win in 12:48. Next up for the UTWT is my freaking dream race, and the largest in terms of participation numbers of any 100-mile trail race in the world, the Diagonal de Fou. Yeah, I bet I butchered that name, y'all. Which travels across Reunion Island, October 19th. And the September 100s just don't stop. The Superior 100 also went down this weekend in Minnesota, with Neil Kollick taking the dominating win in 1931 and Gretchen Metza with the ladies' win in 25:23. As a follow-up, Susan Donnelly finished her 100th official 100-mile run with a 32:06 finish. So badass. Also, John Taylor capped off his 100th by finishing a few hours later in 36:51. Huge achievement for you both. The Tahoe 200 at the time of this filming is still going on, but the dude's winner this year is run streaker Sean Nakamura, who, get this, is signed up for our very own Mohican Monster 100 this weekend. This dude is straight up cray-cray, man. His time was 58 hours, 29 minutes. Currently leading the women is Andrea Lopez, who reached the 155-mile mark after 50 hours, 43 minutes elapsed. You have to scoot on over to their webpage for those results as they happen. 190 people started. All you Boston Marathon hopeful registrants, get your credit cards out. This is the week to sign up according to your qualifying times. I finally bagged a qualifier at New York last fall, but not sure about signing up. With Barkley as my sole focus for 2018, should I distract myself with this silly old-ass marathon? What do you think? There are not a ton of ultramarathons in India, but one of the most iconic and also one of the highest in the world takes place each year in the Ladakh region of the Indian Himalayas. Runners can choose their distance from 111K, 222K, or 333K kilometers. Of note this year, there were just one finisher in the 330K out of 2 starters. Matthew Madey of the USA got her done in 69:45. 4 out of the 5 Indian runners who started the 222K finished. And get this, a 17-year-old female student became the first woman finisher of the 111K. Yotsana Rawat now has her sights set on the full 333 next year. Wow, this one has got to go on my bucket list. You know, we here at Mountain Outhouse like to prod some famous people out there who also like to run. One of our current favorites, besides Casey Neistat, of course, is T-Mobile CEO John Legere. He's been repping his magenta-colored running swag lately on his runs, and it's pretty fun to check out his progress. Hey, Michael Wardian, we'd love to get John out here to one of our trail races, or heck, even as a guest on this show, to find out what makes him love the run so much. Iron Mike, can you help us out, bro? Our correspondent Jizzle Whizzle, aka Andy Jones Wilkins, is taking on a big project for his 50th birthday. To help raise awareness for public lands, HAW will be running 101 miles across Shenandoah National Park in Virginia later this month. We'll try to get some footage from him and from his run. Consider yourself now more aware. Fellow viewers and runners, let's get out there in our public lands and help to protect them for our future generations. Speaking of future generations, we had a lot of positive feedback from the cute goat clip of the week. And you know we love our younger audience here at Mountain Outposts, so we just had to share this cute video clip of the week from one of our youngest viewers.
What are you calling him?
Jam Jam.
Jam Jam?
Jam Jam? He walked there.
He works there? Where does he work?
Does he do running?
Oh, okay.
I maybe call him.
Okay.
Hello? Hi. Hi, Jam Jam. Get him. Goodbye, Jam Jam.
We lost one very beloved member of our ultra community this past week. Dan Baglione passed away on his 87th birthday after a fight with several types of cancer. Dan was a regular attendee of the Across the Years event in Arizona, up until recently with his first way back in 1989, and lived very near to the Western States course for many years. A quick perusal of his past race results show he was a fixture in the Northern California ultra scene, with a finish at the 1981 American River 50 mile at age 50. Dan made a final trip out to a race for the ages to see his ultra friends last weekend, as we think he knew his time was near. Gary Cantrell reported it was Dan's stubborn nature that, despite his health concerns, compelled Dan to make his way to ARFTA this year. Cheers to you, Dan, and may you rest in peace. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. If you have crazy stories to share, or have info on any September 100s we missed, tweet us, or dip into our Insta DMs at Mountain Outpost. Have a shitty week. Support this show by becoming a Patreon supporter and directly help the weekly creation of this show. You have first dibs at purchasing each week's pair of Jam Jam sunglasses as a bonus. These things are selling like hotcakes. Peace, y'all.